Good morning, grade 12. Today we're going to be looking at our business strategy. And companies need to come up with strategies to combat challenges or risks that they might have. You also do a business strategy at the end of your financial year so that you can know what you're going to be doing for the new year. Something new, something exciting. That's where your environmental scanning comes into play. It's so important to do your situation analysis, to look at your situation, look at your environments, and assess and see what can we do in our micro environment. Can we add value to who we are at the moment? We look at our competitors in our macro environment, in our market environment, and in the macro environment, you're looking at the uncontrollable challenges and ensuring that you've got strategies to combat that. So when we have a look at companies, it's important to come up with some sort of plan of action. It's important to understand what needs to be done in order to be better. Some of the strategies that you can come up with are generic strategies. Now, generic strategies have three strategies that fall underneath them. It's low-cost strategies, focus strategies, and differentiation. Okay, now you could come up with an acronym for low cost, focus, and differentiation. You could say, let's find dogs. I mean, you come up with something. Let's find dogs. That's your strategy for 2021 is let's find dogs. So the L stands for low cost. The F stands for focus, finding, and dogs stands for differentiation. So some of the generic strategies that retail stores have already started doing in your low cost, and this is good current affairs for you, is Woolies. Woolies chicken is set to become cheaper as company launches a 1 billion rand bid to adjust prices. So here Woolies is going to be looking at their suppliers. They're going to be negotiating with suppliers, making sure that they've got good relationships. They might have supplier A, supplier B. They're going to come up with a whole low cost strategy. A lot of companies do low cost strategies. You're always trying to bring in lower costs, higher profits, in the sense that more people are going to be buying your products. Be careful though with a low cost strategy. I know a company that I worked for, we adjusted the quality. So we, I think it was with Huggies, we actually removed some of our SAM, super absorbent material, in the nappy. It was years ago, probably about 15 years ago, just a little bit so that we could bring our costs down. And unfortunately, that impacted on our quality. And very soon, our customers let us know that the Huggies nappy was not the same anymore. So we had to go back to the drawing board, make sure that our product quality was right, and do a lot of damage control. So be careful with low cost. Focus strategy, or a niche strategy. So that's going in with something small, a new market, or looking at something quite focused. So here's an example. Checkers has launched a new financial service, including pet insurance. So that's pretty niche for Checkers and in retail stores at the moment. So that's one of the strategies that they've come up with. Differentiation, that means to be different, to be unique. So a differentiation strategy that Checkers or that any of the retail stores are looking at is doing a virtual grocery voucher, especially with COVID at the moment. People are wanting more things online, including vouchers and including shopping online. Hey, so let's go through that. The COVID-19 pandemic did not only pose a threat to South African consumer safety, but also left many communities in South Africa destitute and in need of food and basic goods. In reaction to these needs, the group launched virtual grocery vouchers in 2020. These vouchers are bought electronically and sent straight to the recipient's cell phone, allowing customers to assist those in need remotely, which is a wonderful, wonderful initiative. It also kind of goes into your CSR. Where can vouchers be bought? Online, CompuTicket, or in-store? Because Checkers has that CompuTicket option. Our corporate strategies. So remember, generic strategies is let's find dogs. Corporate strategies, we're looking at joint ventures, merge, or a takeover. So we're looking at corporate combination strategies where two companies come together. For example, I'm just going to move me over here so you can see the pictures, is you've got your joint venture where two companies come together as two brands, and they will then operate separately, but under one kind of joint venture. So we dealt with that a lot last year with our petrol stations. There's lots of joint ventures with Seattle Coffee in a garage. There would be a joint venture. They're actually in the store, selling coffee in the store. So the joint venture company will manage the portfolio and it will serve as a platform for future development. Who's doing that at the moment? Bit of current affairs that I found. South Africa's ShopRite forms joint venture with Equities Property Fund. So they're going to be looking at the underdeveloped land situated at Kilmore and Centurion, and they're going to be managing that land and trying to understand future property acquisition and development opportunities. A merge or a takeover. Now, a merge is where two companies actually merge together and become one. So if you have a look at Walmart, okay, that's more of a takeover. A merge, I know when I worked, before I worked at Bayer, Roche was a pharmaceutical company and Bayer is a pharmaceutical company, and they actually merged in one of their divisions to become Bayer. So you then take over one identity and one brand. So merge obviously comes with its challenges in the sense that you've got now two financial managers, two marketing managers, so you're going to have to start letting people go and aligning the resources that you've got. So ShopRite, Africa's largest retailer, looks set to be acquired by Steinhoff, the furniture group. That was happening in 2016. Here's a good one for a merge. In 2018, Spree and Superbalist became an online retail giant. They merged as the fashion retail online store. A takeover, that's where Walmart the takeover of Massmart. A takeover is where a company acquires more shares and actually takes over the business. They don't have to maintain the brand. They don't have to, they really literally come in, take over, change things. And you can have amicable takeovers or you can have hostile takeovers. So those are the two types of takeovers that you could have. So those are your corporate strategies: corporate, joint ventures, merge, or takeover. Now we come up with our integration strategies. Now, integration strategies, IEB loves to ask this. So you must know all the integration strategies. And luckily with retail, there's a lot that we can talk about with regards to integration strategies. So let's look at our first one. Backward integration is where you are going to look behind you at who is supplying you with things. So for example, Checkers could decide they are going to take over the chicken supply. So go buy a chicken farm and manage a chicken farm and that chicken farm will then supply all the Checkers. What is that? The advantages of that? Well, you've got control over everything and you bring your costs down because you're kind of cutting out middlemen and the farm's profits that need to be made, because then it's all kind of lumped together with Checkers. So let's have a look at some examples with backward integration. Amazon began as an online book retailer in 1995, procuring books from publishers. So that's what they were doing. They were only selling books. In 2009, it opened its own dedicated publishing division, acquiring the rights to both older and new titles. So that is backward integration. They acquire the publishing, so they've got control over everything. Walmart opens a 250,000 square foot milk processing facility. The move will expand Walmart's in-house private label milk brands. Now, you could use this example for Pick n Pay or Checkers. Costco announces a $400 million investment in poultry production. Walmart creates its own supply chain for Angus beef. So backward integration, have a look at the little drawing here. You're doing backstroke and you expand backwards downstream to take control of parts of production further back in the supply chain. Now we're going to look at forward integration. So forward integration is where you're going to be looking forward. So you're going to be saying, where can I impact on my customer? Because remember, your customers are in front and your suppliers on the back. So one of the highest profile examples of forward integration in recent years was Amazon's purchase of Whole Foods. Amazon was already vertically integrated company in many ways. It published its own books. So it basically owned its own transportation and distribution. So forward integration for Checkers could be the delivery system that they've got at the moment. So instead of outsourcing their delivery, they have their own fleet of trucks, of cars that they do the 60/60 delivery with. That is forward integration. So it's where can I save costs before I get to my customer? Checkers buying a logistics company for home deliveries to customers. There we go. That's the example. Horizontal integration, so that's to the side, that's where you're buying a competitor. So that's Checkers buying Spar. So here's another example of a retail. So it's where a wholesale jeweler could acquire or merge with another wholesale jeweler in an attempt to horizontally integrate the company. Okay, great job. So I hope that makes sense. They always ask integration strategies. Please know. Remember, we've done generic strategies. There was a dog involved there. We've done corporate strategies where it's all together and out and joint, and now we've done integration strategies. Forward, backward, horizontal. Growth strategies. Now, when you get into business, you will use these growth strategies quite a bit. I mean, you use all the strategies, but I know when I worked in marketing, this is where we would focus a lot of the times. So you always put it in a matrix, and you've got market penetration, then market developments, product development, and diversification. So you've got existing products and existing markets, new markets. Let's have a look at the new products. Let's have a look at what market penetration means. Most of your strategies are market penetration. Market penetration is existing market, existing products. So what am I going to do as Pick and Pay? I'm going to look at my existing market, my current customers, and my current products, nothing new, and I'm going to see how can I grow this? How can I make sure that we are growing the sales of existing products? And that would be promotions. That would be buy one, get one free. That would be buy these 3 products and you can get a discount. It would be your smart shopper card. It's any kind of promotion that you're going to be doing. Let's have a look at product developments. So that is existing market, but new products. So this is what brand managers love to do, because in order to grow your business, you need innovation. That I learned. You have to innovate. You always have to have something new news. Customers want new products. So that's why you'll see packaging will change. New products are always kind of on shelf. So that's exactly that. Existing market, new product. So we're going into Checkers. We're looking down the aisle and you see new handy Andy, new bread that now has amazing seeds in it. So it's all about product development. So existing market, new product. You could also talk about your vegan range, because that's pretty new at the moment. I don't know if it's new, but it is pretty evolving. It is evolving with vegan kind of becoming quite a lot more popular. So you could bring in a whole new vegan range, a Checkers house brand vegan range, because they've already done that with existing market, new product with a Simply Good range, where they've got lower sugar and really healthy products. Then the next strategy is market developments. So that's new markets, existing products. So now we're looking at new markets. Where else can we get in touch with our customers? And that the retail stores have kind of gone online, more so because of COVID, but they've gone into a new market where they're doing online shopping. You could even look at just a completely brainstormy idea, Checkers going into schools. That's a new market. They could be the tuck shop for new schools, that they have a little retail store in schools. New market with their existing products. Then we have a look at diversification, and that is new, completely new market, completely new products, something completely different. And there's a little idea for Checkers or Spar to have one of those food trucks or retail trucks. that they drive along the streets, that you know the Checkers truck is coming down on a Monday at 2 o'clock, and they have the basics. They've got bread and milk and sweets and chocolates and ice cream and all sorts of things that you know, oh my goodness, I need to buy milk and bread and let's just stock up. So they're offering convenience. So that could be a diversification strategy. New market, new product. Okay, then we're going to now look at other strategies. Now, grade 12s, IEB keeps it pretty open-ended when they talk about strategy. So you can talk about any one of those that we've spoken about now, or these that we're going to be talking about. And these ones you know, thank goodness you know this. So when in doubt, kind of just think, what can I do to overcome this challenge? Whatever you say would be a strategy. So you could revise the business vision and mission. A lot of companies do that. A lot of companies will relaunch their vision and say, you know what, we haven't been abiding. We've changed so much because of technology and online. We have to look at our vision and our mission. So that could be a whole thing that you do, is revise vision and mission. And that's what you launch for the year. You could allocate your resources differently. Look at your different departments, what's happening at the moment, and that could also be part of your strategy, is they're doing a lot of retrenchment strategies at the moment because of COVID. So please make a note of that. There's a lot of retrenchment strategies that, and that falls under your corporate strategy, where people are being retrenched. So companies are forced, because of COVID, to have a look at their warehouse staff to say, who do we not need? And look at the departments. Do we need two brand managers and a marketing manager? Maybe we need to only have one brand manager. Checkers is looking at their merchandisers, saying, do we need 4 merchandisers on the floor? Can we not reduce and just do 2? With COVID, they're also having to look at their resources in a sense that a lot of people are working from home. So they're not having to have these huge buildings anymore with fancy furniture. They are now being able to downsize because, as I said, a lot of people are working from home. So now you can actually have a little satellite office that you're paying less rent, that there's maybe a chair and a table, and if you come into the office, you can sit there and you can just kind of plug in, but you don't have your dedicated office anymore. So that would be a good COVID strategy to downsize in terms of your buildings. Always bring in total quality management, TQM, and total customer satisfaction. So remember, total quality management, you're looking at sampling, you're looking at inspections, and you're looking at processes in place to ensure that there's quality. Benchmarking. Benchmarking is where you benchmark yourself according to the industry standard or one of the top competitors. So you look at the competitor and say, I want to be like them in a sense. What are they doing? And let's benchmark according to what they do. So a lot of retail stores, you can see that they've been doing that with Woolies, with quality. There's been a big drive with regards to their quality and trying to improve that. Grade 12, financial ratios. Here is another way that you can bring your financial ratios in as a strategy. And remember, you're always going to talk about making sure that you keep up with industry norm. So current capital ratio, industry norm is 2:1. I need 2 Rand to cover my 1 Rand of debts. Asset test ratio is 1:1. 1 Rand to 1 Rand to debt. Then you're healthy. Then the company looks healthy. You've got your solvency ratios. You've got your liquidity ratios, so which is your current capital. You've got your profitability ratios. So you could talk any of those ratios. You could say, as a company, we're going to focus on these ratios and we're going to try and bring a current capital ratio in line with industry norm. Performance appraisal. So that is a 360-degree performance appraisal. This is a good strategy to implement. What you could start doing is you could start saying, we are going to bring in 360-degree performance appraisals. So what is that? Every year, you will be appraised. Every year, your boss will come and you will sit with him or her, and they're going to see whether you're going to get a salary increase, because a salary increase is not a guarantee in Workland at all. Sorry, so you're not guaranteed a salary increase. So what you could do is, as a business, sometimes the problem is that if you're boss and you don't get along, and that's the only person that you're getting appraised by in order for you to get your salary increase, it could be a little bit unfair. So businesses put in the 360, not everybody, but it is it's really good. We did this at Bayer and it was so beneficial, because then you kind of get appraised by everybody that you deal with. So the financial manager that you've dealt with, the project manager on one of the projects, one of the secretaries, anybody that you've come in contact with will then fill out a form in terms of, are you a hard worker? Are you a team player? Are you conscientious? What are your skills? And they would then assess you anonymously, so they can be completely honest, and you would then be able to be assessed by a 360 by everybody, which makes it a little bit more fair. So your boss will also go in, and then you can then see what kind of salary, and then it's quite an objective way of being appraised, because if your colleagues are appraising you, because they're also going to be appraised, there's lots of things that you can work on. So they would look at what you're really good at and what you need to work on. So that could be a strategy. Continuous skill development, of course, always. You have to always continuously develop skills, and that would be training in HR. There would be courses that you go on, and then teamwork. You could have a whole strategy that we're going to be working as a team, and we need synergies within our company. And how are we going to bring about that the financial department and the marketing department and the production department are working synergistically? Because it doesn't always happen in businesses. So that could be a whole strategy that you could be putting together for someone. Okay, right. Grade 12s, that is strategies. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you soon.